Well, hello everyone. Let me show you over here. Once you see this, you probably be able to guess what I'm going to do. This is a Diablo brand, oh, that's upside down, carbide tipped, fine tooth finishing blade for table saw. This is the table saw. It came with no blade, and because this table saw happens to be imported from America, so this center hole here, this is called the arbor, the center hole. It's a different size than the table saws that they sell here in Japan. The guy who was kind enough to sell it to me for a really good deal, he had taken the other blade out to use in his chop saw. So I had to special order blade and wait a long time for it to finally get here. And here it is. It's a nice blade. We used to use these, and probably still do at the shop that I used to work at. They probably still do use these blades. They're very, very nice. They make really good cuts and they last a long time. I'm going to just change it out and let you take a look. What I need right now is the wrench. There's a wrench to tighten this, but first I think I can take this off by hand. I can. There's the nut. And this is the piece that clamps onto the blade. There's another piece that clamps onto the other side of the blade. I'm just gonna clean that off a little bit. I wonder if I can get an adapter and use some blades here in Japan. I'm curious to know if that's possible. Yeah, nice, beautiful, hefty blade. And it goes this way because yep, fits right on, perfect, good. The teeth point this way because the blade comes this way whenever you're cutting. Then this piece will go on here. Wow, it's not much room to get my hand in there. Okay, there's that. I can put the nut on. I can barely get my fat hand in there. There's not much beef on my hand. So this table saw is definitely different than the ones that I worked on with Wes at the shop, because those are much bigger. Those are cabinet saws, so they're not job site portable saws like this one. Okay, on this back side of the table saw, they've attached the tightening tools for the blade. Holding the blade in place, move it around to right there. This is to hold the blade in place while you tighten with this one, like so. That should be good. This goes back on, and then there we go. And I'll bring the blade up. About right there. Oh, I left my tape measure in there when I went to use it earlier, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna take something here and rip one piece. Maybe needs some oil or something, maybe some lubrication. You barely see any saw marks at all, so it's pretty nice. Now I can rip some stuff, cut some things down, and do things a lot faster. It's going to be very helpful here at the house. The table saw is now working, so what I'm going to do is try to build myself a bed frame. I have a mattress in there right now with no box spring, and it's just sitting on the floor. That worked okay during the winter because I was able to put the carpet underneath it, the heated carpet, and keep it warm and keep myself warm. But it really needs to be up off the ground and on a frame. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take my measurements and the wood that I have here, start cutting stuff out and putting a frame together. But first I need to clean up the table and put all my tools kind of in a better place, and after that I'll put it together. I'm not in a major hurry today. It's kind of a recovery day. I slept for about 12 hours last night. I used so much energy and I didn't get enough rest over the weekend, so I'm just moving at a slow pace. No rush today. I'd like to get out and cut the grass, but I'm not sure I'm feeling up to that today. It was either do the bed today and the grass tomorrow, or the grass today and the bed tomorrow. I opted to do the bed frame just because I can move a little slower and still continue to rest a little bit. So let's do that. Well, before I can get right into building this bed frame, I'm going to try to hang a light that Tiago gave me. He said it was working when they took it down, but first of all I'm going to plug it in, make sure it works. If it works, I'll clean it up and then I'll hang it up. Should give me a lot more light in here. So let's go ahead and give it a try. If you've never lived in Japan, then this will be new to you. If you've lived in Japan, then you probably have seen this before. But basically, this is a very common connection that you will see for lights on the ceiling. This particular light that they hung in the kitchen here, you'll notice that it's just ran to a wire here. There's a plug right here. And then there's an extension cord that runs all the way down to this plug. The one that Tiago gave to me, it has this type of plug. Okay, this is a rectangular type plug that has these connectors. This is a very common type of connector that you'll see in Japan for various items, light fixtures and fans or whatever. You put it in and you turn it to click it into place. This is the receiver receptacle. But since I don't have one of these installed in the kitchen, I'm going to connect it to this and plug it into my extension cord just to make sure that the light works. What I'm going to do first is connect it here like that. Just clips in and plug it in. Hey, okay, there you go. The light works. So what I'm going to do is clean it up, test it one more time, and then I'll hang it up. Well, let's take a closer look. You can see up here what I've done is I drilled a couple little holes, and then just to make it much easier to put these hooks in, I have a couple of these hooks that I got from Daiso, and I screwed those into the holes to hang the chain, and of course the wire is just plugged into the extension cord and it's ran down to that outlet right over there. So I've got the one extra light here, it's already, I can tell the difference, even though there's still some light outside. It is about 5:30 p.m. right now, and the sun is making its descent for the evening, but I can already tell that there's a difference in here. I put it next to this light so that I can kind of get the light spread out. I'd like to get one more and put over here. That way I can kind of have lights all the way up and down the center of the shop here. The shop slash kitchen, the shoption, the kitchop, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, for now this will help out because I got this light right above the table saw. So this is gonna help with cutting anything out here. And I still have the light over the working surface right here. So looking good. Now I wonder if I'm gonna be able to get this bed frame done today. I don't know, but at least I can get started on it. Okay, so I've got the main frame built, and I figured my material correctly, actually. I did buy enough 2x4s to do all of this. However, I was coming up a little short, and I remembered the reason is because I used two 2x4s over here to create this miter saw bench. Now, this was a temporary bench, and I was just going to take it down after we finished with it recently. But eventually I would like to get a miter saw because it would make things a lot faster and easier instead of doing all my cross cuts on the table saw. But instead of taking all that down, I need to get some polish anyway. Put on the top of the table saw and some on the table. That way it's easier to push the wood through. And I figured I can go get that at the hardware store and just go ahead and pick up another couple small 2x4s just for a few bucks. No big deal. Keep this workbench there, and that way I don't have to rebuild it. Even though I was thinking it would be temporary, it seems silly to take it down and rebuild it. So I'm just going to leave it there. Later on I'll make it better. I'll just add on to it to make it better. And for now, I've got enough scrap pieces over here to do 4 legs. I want to do 6 legs total. In the corners, in the middle, and then one in the very center. But of course, I don't really consider that a leg, so I'm not going to say that I need 7 legs. I'll just say 6 legs and 1 support in the middle. And I'm going to run 4 2x4s across. I've got enough cross pieces here to do 2. I've already got 2 cut. I just need to go get enough to cut 2 more and to give me a couple more legs. And that should be it. So let's go to the hardware store.